This meme of the day is brought to you by Was That Important? Because since I took control as editor, I have officially erased that dumb counter.
Can we have someone dethrone Yang the Insane for meme of the day?
Why are my hands black? Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Let's Discuss Death Battle. I think I just heard someone fart, or someone was just moving around, but it sounded like a fart on someone's end. Joined with me is your only mate.
It wasn't me. It was him.
And that him is someone who I am not going to be surprised of, is going to take over this episode, Sean.
Hey, that was just an illusion. You saw my son Pato, you fool.
Alright, we actually had a decent intro for once. The closer we get to the finale, the better we are at getting to intros for this series.
Apparently.
So, yes, Madara vs. Aizen, it just came out, and we got a surprising finale twist, which would even make M. Night Shyamalan go like, dude, I am so surprised. Assuming he would speak like that.
Now he would say, "What a twist!"
What a twist! Now then, before we get on to the discussion, let's bring up some comments we got from the last three discussions. First one from C. Spadina. You guys know this guy for a while, I'm sure. How was Korra vs. Storm the longest fight this season? Geez, how? It shouldn't be the long, but hey, Death Battle Losers cameos were fun.
I think it's because they wanted to tell more so of a story in a weird kind of way with Storm and Korra.
Well, I mean, let's be real. A lot of death battles, if they were to do it like super accurate to the research, they would end in like the first 10 seconds.
Well, that too.
Actually,
But it
no.
wasn't
Flash versus Quicksilver wouldn't even last 1 second.
Yeah.
It would last a literal, like, less than a nanosecond.
Yeah, I mean, if we were to really be honest, like, realistically, 90% of death battles, if the character could just simply just do that power, they would have just done it straight away if those people were right. Like, for instance, Jotaro versus Kenshiro. Kenshiro could just make himself intangible and just immediately just go ahead and kill Kenshiro. Jotaro. That's his name, right? Jotaro? The one with...
Jotaro Kujo.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jotaro was the one that lost.
Yeah. Sorry, I mixed up names. But yeah, he could have just made himself intangible and just killed him just from the start, realistically speaking. Or even Shadow versus Ryuko, just Chaos Control, stop time, just kill Ryuko. But that's not entertaining to watch, that's boring.
Yeah, like they make it fights longer because they can do cool stuff, and they want to show that off.
Yeah. Plus, both Korra and Storm had a lot of abilities with their powers, so whereas Goku Black and Reverse Flash, as much as they have a lot of abilities, fighting it's rather limited, so they didn't have to go too long in the fight. At least that's what I think.
Yeah, I'm also gonna throw out there, if let's say we were a fan of a character who did lose and they lost in like 10 seconds, how pissed would we be?
Yeah.
On a scale
Like
of
they
1 to
have
10,
all this, like they have all this cool stuff they could do in the fight, but then it's just rushed to like, nope, they're dead. Bye.
Yeah, it's kind of just a middle finger to like those fans, really. Like, if you're gonna make a character lose, even if it's one-sided, let them go out in glory.
Yeah, at least give them a moment where they look cool.
yeah.
So, next comment, Xbox Clown 89. Really disappointed that wasn't a 69 there, mate. I got a lot of reasons to back up Aizen here.
Oh, you're on the other video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just like, where the hell is that comment?
To Mr. Xbox Clown, you might want to sit down for the next bit of the discussion.
Did he even post reasons why?
No.
Great reasoning.
And lastly, from good old Brobuscus, and he felt like your only mate, you kind of called him out.
Hey, to be fair, he does say screw off.
That is true.
I got what you meant. I was on Robustcast like the next day after we did Lads. We came up with that title during that discussion too.
And
Yeah, and it had to be a jab at me.
yeah, pretty low blow there, Brobuscus. That again, though, at the beginning of this series, we did say fuck Cora, even though I'm pretty sure I didn't even know anything about that character and I just wanted to piss off Richard, so I guess we're all guilty of trying to annoy one another. And now we shall move on to Madara versus Aizen. And yeah, I thought it was okay.
I really liked this episode.
Yeah, it was just one of those really good episodes, but I wouldn't say I consider it better than Goku Black versus Reverse Flash or Alucard versus Dio. I was like, I feel like those episodes are definitely on my top 3. Madara versus Aizen would just about scrape 4th place for me on my list. It was good, but I feel like near the transformation bit, that's when it was like, oh, now it's getting good.
I kind of want to backtrack to the analysis quickly and just say mad props to Ben for that long take of explaining Madara's plan.
The fucking board that reminded me of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia too.
Oh
Like,
god,
holy hell.
why is that not a meme of the day?
Because no one wanted to make that a meme.
Not yet. So yeah, the analysis was pretty much funny as usual, really. It was Boomstick being a bit pervy. Well, not even pervy really, but he seemed to really ship Madara and his best friend as a gay couple.
Hey, ship and let ship.
Yeah,
I never.
it was kind of funny too. I know my favorite Boomstick moment is just him hyping up Aizen's fucking chair.
Yeah. I mean,
All hail the chair!
Most powerful being in Bleach.
I mean, you have to give credit. If it can contain someone like Aizen, then it must be a powerful chair.
Dude, imagine one of us just sits in that chair. We'd probably explode.
Yeah, we'd be dead.
You know what? That's a chair that Darkseid would like to sit in.
Like, a chair more powerful than my own.
No, that's just the thing
Yes.
he does. He just sits in other people's chairs.
He would just sit in that chair and go like, "This is comfy."
Actually, I don't think it would be comfy because he's like 30 times bigger than a man. It'd be like squeezing on his butt cheek. Just one of them. Like, not exactly fit for a throne.
I mean, let's be real. Darkseid would just obliterate the chair anyway.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the analysis was very fun, and I like how people were talking about how the big feat for Madara was going to be the moon feat. How about instead the god tree?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
It's like as soon as they brought up the moon feat in the when they went to Iceland, they're like, "Well, Kenpachi sliced something very similar, and it was also the size of Great Britain." And that just made me think, well, Mate and Bill are dead if they piss off Kenpachi.
yeah, pretty much. Alright, goodbye London. Well, just goodbye all the UK.
Well, yeah.
Dang again though, will anyone miss London?
I would miss London for you too.
Aww.
I was about to say, Bill, you're joking about us being dead.
I didn't say we'd be in the UK. That's just assumptions. I'd say we watch it from a distance, like just sunbathing, like just watching the fireworks go off.
I also have a lot of friends and family here.
They'll be gone too. My goodness, see people, these guys just think of death way too much. Death battle's getting into their heads. They need to be more peaceful in mind. And also, I guess I'm kind of a hypocrite. So I'm saying like I'm a more peaceful mind, but I'm saying I want to watch London burn. So, I guess we're all evil in some way.
And yeah, like the whole
Wow.
analysis was just fun.
Wow, Bill hates Londoners. Hashtag cancel Bill.
I mean, I do have a bit of German in me, so that's not too inaccurate. That's your fun fact of the day, people. I'm part German.
Ah, wunderbar.
Guten Tag.
Meanwhile, Mage is going, what the fuck are you two saying?
It's been death battle be good? I started to go a bit more Indian on that last bit. Starting to sound like Raj from the Big Bang Theory.
But,
Speaking of Big Bangs, how did the fight go?
holy shit.
Aizen got his ass kicked.
Yeah, but surprisingly, it wasn't as one-sided as many people were trying to say.
Oh yeah,
Like,
no.
I was saying, like speed was up in the air, and it legit was. Like, well, they're pretty even in speed. I even was, like, audibly surprised when they said Madara's best speed was only 7 times stronger than what Aizen could do. Because that's really close if you want to go by Death Battle standards.
And also, their destructive capabilities just seemed also evenly matched. Like, both could realistically just end the world if they wanted.
Yeah, you know, doesn't this also make Naruto versus Ichigo a lot closer than what it came out to be?
Yep.
I mean, Naruto still wins,
Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
I mean,
but
that could be my Naruto
it also-
bias.
but it also takes away the one edge that Ichigo has, that being speed. Because logically, like, based on this, they would be about even.
I will say, though, this animation was really, really good. In fact, like, the whole episode actually, I don't know if, I know I posted it and I think Bill saw it in our discussion, but Neil Kaplan, the original voice actor from Madara, actually had placed a bet on this.
Oh yeah, I
Death
saw
Battle
that.
Count this as another Death Battle being endorsed by an original voice actor.
Yeah, so listen, people that get angry that's Death Battle hate anime. They have anime actors literally go,
God, if
yay!
That whole hate anime thing, like even back then, when it was like, oh, Goku and Majin Buu lost. Yeah, but Vegeta and Guts won.
Believe it or not, there are people out there that still say Death Battle hate anime, despite the many anime wins that has been on Death Battle lately. Hell, Venom, probably one of the most popular Spider-Man villains, lost to a not-so-popular anime character. There you go.
People actually, like, genuinely believe that. Just piss off.
In fact, do you know what? Someone on Duo's server tried to say, oh, this episode's controversial because it has 4,000 dislikes. But then when you look at the likes, it has...
I just saw that.
Yeah, but when you look at the likes...
Oh, this episode is not controversial in any shape, way, or form.
It's so
Yes,
dumb.
the stats are close no matter what they do with these two characters. Problem is if Aizen was still better in stats, the problem is Aizen can't kill Madara.
Yeah, and that was I didn't even think about, because I was trying to think, like, you know, could Aizen kill Madara? But then, realistically, no. Like, Madara can't be killed unless a specific action happens. I mean, it's a stupid reason. I completely forgot how dumb his death was in a way, but... yeah, I just didn't see... Aizen could definitely land a few good hits on him, even in his, like, transformation.
Speaking of, like, the Aizen transformations, the sprite artist for this episode went off the rails.
Oh yeah, mad kudos to the sprite artists.
Yeah, and I actually want to also kind of emphasize this, because similar on Duo server, people were kind of shit-talking the custom sprites.
What?
Yep, because apparently they say, why didn't they just already use pre-made sprites? But here's what I say to that. As a sprite...
They don't have any for his transformations.
That,
The end.
well, that, but also, what's wrong with being that dedicated to your work that you can trust your artists to make your sprites and 3D models? Like, I don't get what is wrong with using your own assets that you can make.
Yeah, I'm also gonna throw out there, let's go back to Danny Phantom versus Jake Long. Those sprites, custom made.
Yeah.
Sprites from their actual games, they look like arse, and not the good kind.
One thing that I also used to counteract that is that, oh, someone said, why didn't they just use, like, the similar sprites for Madara like they did with Jiraiya versus Roshi? Those sprites are very limited. Like, you can't do the ninjutsu, like, forms to use the attacks or anything like that. Not only that, you have more creative freedom. Like, look at Dorkly's animations. Sure, they use pre-made sprites, but they also make their own sprites, and usually it adds more charm to the jokes or the videos.
And plus,
By the way, I got
Go
the
ahead.
name of the sprite artist. It's Freddie Perez. I
Eddie
hope I'm
Perez?
pronouncing his last name. Yeah, them.
Was that the? Wow, they did really good with these sprites. Like, I know Bill was probably really happy to see the 10-tail form sprite for Madara look so good.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because that was the thing. Like, I didn't hate the sprites at the first bit of this fight, but I did feel like they look a bit like puppety, if you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah, they've been doing that puppet style for the sprite fights.
yeah, it just sometimes it looks really good, but then you do get those little moments where it's like, it could have been better. But once it got
Yeah,
to
you get those moments where you can tell.
But when you get to the
I don't mind.
when you got to the transformation bits though, that was when the fight was getting really good for me.
Oh, well, yeah.
Like, it was just so thrilling to watch. Like, and I even like the fact that they both did their maniacal laugh, and that
And there's that shot of them side by side.
I'm pretty sure that one. I don't know who did that, but I want to say that was probably John who did that one. It's either him or Zach that do hand-drawn bits mostly.
So I can't remember what the name of the Twitter person was. I think they're the Death Battle shitpost one. But someone put an image of Madara saying, "I see everything," and then it cuts that psycho face, including your cringe.
Yes, it's like Death Battle shit
No.
or something like that.
You could have made that better. It could have been, I see everything, including your internet search history.
Oh my goodness, I feel like that's going to be the next It Was Me Barry for this series.
I see everything, including the season finale. Oh, we're not
Oh,
there yet.
we'll get to that.
Dude, like, holy crap, though. Like, the way that they made these characters look and act was really, really well done. And that's not even getting into the voice acting just yet. Holy hell.
Oh yeah, like,
The range on Nick is insane.
it's really hard to think that this is the same guy that voices Sonic.
Also,
And-
Broly, Kakashi, Danny Phantom, Ben 10 and all of his aliens, and Tommy Oliver?
What's funny is that we were talking about Nick being a possible idea, and Bill was not sold on it.
I mean,
Well, I think you can eat your words now.
yeah, I can put them in my little Cheerios and I'll eat them for breakfast tomorrow. Like, I had to admit,
Man, he
Nick,
did such a good job.
Nick did prove, you know what, he could do a Madara voice. When I saw the sneak peek, I was like, okay, he's got the voice actually. I think it's where I'm just so used to his more higher pitcher voices that I just didn't think he could do like the calm spoken, deep voice, sinister Madara like from the English dub anime. But I was wrong, and I'm happy to be wrong.
Well, that's good. It's like, Madara was the one that was up in the air, honestly, for a lot of people. Like, who could do this guy really well? And I'm glad Nick was chosen, and I'm glad he did really, really well on this.
I feel like at this point, Nick is going to be considered the Nolan North of Death Battle. That the amount of characters that he voices, it's going to go insane. Like, I'm trying to remember who. What else? Is there anyone else he's voiced? Like, even just as cameos?
In, like, Death Battle or other media?
Death Battle.
If we want to count Death Race, he voiced Sonic again in that.
Obviously.
He voiced Robin when he went batshit crazy. Huh?
I love that bit. Bring
Did he
Death
also
Race.
do Lightning McQueen?
Please do Death Race again, man. That was such a good
Oh, yeah.
spin-off.
Yeah, he did Lightning McQueen as well. And also, if we're getting into how it should have ended, he also played Shang-Chi.
And apparently he can also do Dr. Fate in other media.
Ow. Nick does have range.
Speaking of Nolan North, the second closest thing we get to Nolan North, also voiced in this episode, Phil as Isaac.
I'm trying to remember what characters has he voiced.
Yoda, Akuma, just from this season alone.
Ah. Oh, wow. And each one of those, he's died.
Oh, God!
And we
Like,
brought this up when we talked about Akuma.
Okay, so I guess this season he is the Sean Bean.
He's the new Nick.
No, I'm pretty sure when Gianni beat him as Shao Kahn, that's when he passed the torch to him. Like, well, you don't have a face anymore. Here's the torch of losing forever.
Oh, poor guy.
Rough, I feel bad.
But no, Phil did really, really good. Like, I was hoping it was Cameron, but it was a really nice choice.
He also captured that snarky sort of attitude, like, oh, what do you expect from a human?
It sucks because I'm pretty sure Aizen's voice actor Kyle Herbert doesn't have a Twitter, but I think he did Kyle Herbert very well.
Yeah,
And I like how they were sticking with the Japanese pronunciations for a lot of these as well. What were you asking, Bill?
I was gonna ask, like, to you guys, what were your highlights in the actual fight?
Well, okay, aside from the split shot, and I just want to put this out there. When Madara says, "I love it, the thrill of battle, the pounding of my heart, the taste of my own blood, I love it!"
Yeah, that was really good.
Okay, yeah, it was great. But it also gave me flashbacks to DBZ Abridged when Gohan was saying the exact opposite to Cell.
I think it was meant to
Like,
be
he was
a subtle
saying-
reference.
Yeah, he was saying, "I hate this. The vibrations of my fist on contact, the taste of blood in my mouth, the pounding of my heart in my ears, I hate it."
But to be fair, I think Madara would be the opposite of Gohan anyway.
I mean, yeah,
I
but
mean-
I'm just wondering, like, Liam wrote this episode, I'm pretty sure. Was he inspired by that scene?
He was writer and director for this episode.
Also,
Yeah, so you never know.
also, mate, that line is also a Madara line.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's like a thing he would say. Like, that whole Dragon Ball Bridge bit was just a parody of it.
Oh, never knew that.
Another Bill
Also,
fun
speaking
fact of the
of-
day.
Yeah.
Speaking of
but
memes, by the way, sorry. Someone
Yeah.
made this joke, and they're like, if I had a nickel for every time a dragon counted a Susanoo, I would have 2 nickels. I know it's not a lot, but I can't believe it happened twice.
yeah, I saw that.
For,
At least one of those worked out.
Yeah. I mean, the dragons, they were a little bit slow, but I thought they looked really, really cool.
They did feel a bit choppy at certain shots, but there were some really, really good shots that when Madara and the dragons came in contact. Was that your highlight, Sean?
I was also gonna say all the fake outs as well. Well, to
Yeah.
be fair, this whole fight's a highlight for me, Bill. I wonder why.
Yeah, good
Yeah,
point.
I was gonna comment on that as well.
Go ahead, mate.
Like, right after Aizen says, "Know your place," and he does that big energy move and Madara's screaming. Yeah. If you listen to the music, the vocals actually, like, amp up like it's building to, like, a climax. So the music tries to subtly make you think this is the end of the fight.
Yeah, I really thought Madara lost it, and I was like, no, Madara!
That was also an illusion. Like, holy hell.
It was Madara's plan all along.
All according
was-
to Madara's plan.
It was me, Aizen.
Oh god, here we
The
go.
way the Sharingan, the way they had the Sharingan in that last hand-drawn shot too, that was nice.
Do you know, it's also, I feel like, I know these animes have their brutal moments, but god damn, I don't think Madara's ever, like, been sliced to pieces. I mean, I know that was an illusion, but just seeing him just get sliced up at the start of the fight, I was like, Jesus, even Naruto's not that brutal. I'm not sure about Bleach. Is Bleach usually pretty brutal?
Yes.
Okay, so that probably makes sense for that standpoint. But Naruto's kind of tamed because in Japan it's still meant to be shown to kids. I know that's hard to believe, but yeah, Naruto is technically labeled a kid show even during some of their swears and like bloody moments.
Here, kids, why don't you grow up to be just like Naruto? Swear a lot and lose your arm to your best friend.
Well, they
Or possibly closet boyfriend.
Actually, in Japan, I'm not sure if I'm getting this correct, but I think the only swear that they can realistically use is shit and bastard. Those are the only swears they can have in like a kids type of anime. And
That makes sense.
Because with bastard, they probably want to try to write some Irish like heavy character, and that's a common phrase they use.
I mean,
I know because I'm part Irish, lad.
How are you?
Hey,
Nice to meet
And I'm
you,
part
lad.
Scottish.
what was
There's
that?
a Sean fact of the day. It's just all facts of the day here.
I was also
Oh,
throwing
look
out
at-
I'm part Scottish.
Look at the way my name is spelled.
I mean,
You really
that.
think we use the American spelling?
Do you know what, that is a good point? I just always assumed like, oh, your parents just wanted to be, a bit more out there, just be like, let's be a bit more creative with our son's name.
No. Well, to be fair, another quick fun fact: it was either get called that, or I would have been called Gary the Third.
Gary the Third. Oh, that would have been funny.
And made the Pokemon Go thing.
Ah, okay.
I mean, given the whole multiverse theory, there probably is a universe out there where we do this podcast and you are known as Gary the Third.
I'm a fancy aristocrat then.
You know what? Since we're sharing stuff like that, I was almost called Steven.
Wow.
Oh, that's a good name.
Yeah, but my brother insisted, like, my actual name, so it stuck.
Fair enough.
As long as you don't have any regrets about it.
No, I prefer my actual name.
Fair.
Fair enough. But enough about names. Let's start naming more of our favourite moments from the fight before we move on to the next subject.
I got so much to talk about because I loved every second of this.
Alright.
Honestly, one of my favorite moments, it doesn't even come from the episode itself, but it comes from how much Sean enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, do you want, Sean, why don't you just take the mantle here? You need to express how much you loved this episode. Go ahead,
Yep.
mate. I'm gonna
It's all you.
I'm gonna
I
play
mean,
some Project
here's the thing.
Zomboid.
Ouch. But
I'm gonna listen. I just wanted to reference a game. A really cool game. You guys should play it.
I like when I went on Robot's Cast, like initially, like the thing that we were talking about before the prediction was that Madara blitzes Aizen, and I was like, that's not really true, but whatever.
Oh yeah, it's really hard
And
to just
the
want
post
to.
analysis as well.
You just want to tell those people like, shut up,
Say
man.
something, yeah.
It's like, listen, people,
It's
just
just like,
shut up.
No, because Speed was like I was always the belief, like even when Aizen got teased, that Speed is up in the air between him and Madara. And the fact that this episode was a lot closer than a lot, and I mean a lot of people gave credit for, just shows how well done I think the research was done on these two. I've had people bring up like, well, this isn't what Truth Seeker orbs do, and the argument I brought up to them was like, okay, but how does Aizen kill Madara? Tell me. And they did not.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people. Okay, I'm not going to act like a lot of people in the Death Battle community hate Bleach because that's not true. But the people that we've seen kind of undermine a lot of Bleach characters. Like, sure, they may not be considered as powerful as Naruto, Dragon Ball, but it's like I'm pretty sure Ichigo could level a lot of shonen heroes.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't see anyone from like My Hero Academia destroying anyone from Bleach.
Well, they wouldn't be able to see them.
I mean, that is true.
Yes.
Is it weird that the song from Persona 5 came into my head?
No.
Because of the lyrics, you'll never see it coming.
That's pretty much a good way to phrase it.
There's your bootleg version of that song, Persona fans.
Yeah.
Like that whole post analysis, they were just like, well, because stats are close, let's go to what they did for TJ versus Balrog, and that is look at basic knowledge of like these characters. And the big thing is, Aizen's a Soul Reaper, Madara's just a zombie. Madara's powers are specifically able to destroy souls, and again, Aizen is a soul reaper.
Yeah, that was actually kind of an interesting sort of thing, because that was the thing I was wondering. It's like, okay, Aizen seems like he's also on a destructive level of power. In fact, wasn't that whole Black Tower thing meant to be like a black hole type of attack?
Some people compared it like that, but it's mostly like an incantation spell that distorts your like space and time around you.
Okay, so I can kind of get why people compare it to a black hole, but if it really did act like a black hole, I'm pretty sure the Earth would be screwed. Like, the moment it's summoned.
Yeah. Mm. Like, another thing people are saying is that the whole thing with the Shining Gun wouldn't exactly work against the hypnosis, and I'm just like, did you not see what they said about Itachi's? Why do people forget about Itachi all the time when it comes to Shining Gun debates?
Well, this is kind of a thing I've always seen with Death Battle versus community fans. It's like, many people who I can see just being biased just purposely leave out counters. To them that might seem as minor, but really I don't see it as a minor. It could seem minor on paper, but when you put it in the context of a verse debate, I think it could mean a lot more than it lets on.
Oh yeah.
Let me ask Mate this, since Bill, I feel like you're going to say yes anyway because you're a Naruto fan. Do you think comparing Madara's Shining Gun to someone like Itachi's and Sasuke's was fair game?
Yeah, I say so.
I want to say yes.
I also argue that because he's an Uchiha. Of course he's bullshit.
I think the reason I can't really
the only reason
definitely say yes to it is because I'm not really much of a Bleach fan like you are, so this is where I'd be like, do you think it would work?
Yes, because I remember what I said about Aizen. He has nearly flawless illusions. What was the key word in that statement there?
Oh yeah. I also kind of liked why they brought the fact that Aizen actually has no ways to stop another illusion being used on him.
Yeah, that's kind of why I forgot him as well, but I believe he goes by Tozin. He's the blind Soul Reaper guy, part of Aizen's army in the arc, and his thing is also kind of distortion and illusion based. And guess what? Kenpachi broke out of that.
But there you go.
And the big thing is just like, I think that's why Aizen had Tozin on his side, was because Aizen doesn't have defenses against that. And it took Kenpachi a longer time than like Sasuke getting out of Itachi's Sharingan techniques to do that.
Yeah, so they were pretty even in a lot of categories. It was just that Madara just happened to have an ability that Aizen has no defense for.
And being slightly more powerful.
Yeah, because I would have really thought they would have cancelled each other out with their illusion techniques. It's like, well, none of them could realistically, potentially fool the other, but then it's like, oh, no, Madara could totally fool Aizen. And I was like, oh, game over then.
You know, I've just thought about this. This fight's kind of like a sort of preview for when they inevitably do Mysterio versus Scarecrow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
You know, two illusion-based characters.
Yeah, it's a net.
Although you kind of think Mysterio wears a fishbowl head, he's not going to be able to breathe in the gas.
Well, he still needs to get oxygen.
And then you remember, oh wait, you don't necessarily need to breathe in the gas because Scarecrow could just inject you with it.
Yeah, or even just slightly cut your skin.
However,
that has like, you know, a blade on, like has this toxic on it.
Yes, but then that could be an illusion from Mysterio the whole time.
I mean, potentially. That would actually be an interesting episode, because realistically, none of those two have realistic fighting skills. It's just their illusions. In fact, one thing I love from that episode is that they're doing a very destructive fight, but then whoever wins, it just shows nothing changed. Like, everything's okay, but it just shows the dead body of the loser.
I mean, yeah, it would have to. Like, imagine that scene from Far From Home.
Mm-hmm.
But like a bit longer and more of a fight.
Yeah.
God, that scene is so good.
Like, everything in that post-analysis, like, I feel like was well done enough to explain, you know, the other reasons that Madara wins, not just based off stats, because of how close they were.
Actually, Sean, I actually want your opinion on this. Ow, I just smacked my own headphones. I saw a tweet from someone about this episode saying how Aizen can't die unless he chooses to die. Is that true?
I don't see where there's a good example of that. That's just something he says. It's never been proven.
I was going to say, he has died,
Plus,
though.
it might just break the... It might also pull what Alucard had, and it just breaks the lore and rules of the character.
Right, so he can't have that power as well as his other powers.
Most likely.
Yeah.
Like, yes, the Bankai was never revealed, but Aizen still has been beaten before by people less powerful than Madara. Heck, he got his ass kicked not just by Ichigo, but he barely survived against Grimmjow of all characters.
Right, so... I guess overall, what would you rank this episode on? Like, I mean, I probably can tell where you're going to rank this, but where would you put this episode on your list?
I mean, considering that towards the end of my reaction, I legit almost cried.
Okay, then, so kind of like you early, mate.
That's something... Yeah, like, that's a little thing me and Sean now have in common. We got our dream episodes, and we cried afterwards.
Yeah, like, I know I said that if Aizen won, this would be my most favorite episode of all time. But even I was like, you know what? Fuck it, this is my new personal favorite of all time. Even with Madara winning, they made it seem like a really, really close fight. But hey, I got dressed up for the occasion.
Where were you, mate, in your Blake outfit?
Dude, I cannot pull off a Blake outfit.
He got a cake. People argue that's better.
To be fair, yeah, I actually wanted some of that cake, but can't. Maybe if I was like the girl from the ring, I would reach into the screen and like pull some of it.
That just means what we do for Bill is our robust cast idol. We get him a dripped out cake.
Well, he needs to decide on a most wanted dream fight first.
Yeah,
True.
I think it's going to be awkward to me though, because I don't. Well, I mean, I'm sort of gonna kind of get a dream fight when we move on to the next time, but I can't imagine there being a fight that would make me cry of joy. I could be wrong. Maybe there is a matchup out there that is meant to be mine. I just don't know it yet. You know what they say? Plenty of fish in the sea.
Also, I've gotten comments on the thumbnail for my reaction video. It was hard to find a good Aizen cosplay that worked with the pose I had to do.
Oh yeah.
Well, the Madara cosplay, thankfully, was a good pick. I feel like.
Yeah, I have to admit, not a bad cosplay. The hair must have been a nightmare.
Yes. He probably had like a wig and a wig cap on, to be fair.
Also, I can't believe I never really thought about this, but Madara has the exact same hair as Raditz. I'm only just now seeing that.
Yeah, he does.
Too bad Raditz is the equivalent of an anime trash can.
Funny enough, I think...
Useful for one use, but gets beaten up constantly.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think like Madara would actually beat Raditz. Hey, I
don't know what this Yamcha is, but it sounds like Raditz.
I can picture Madara saying that.
My final thoughts on this episode is that this is probably going to be my number one, regardless of how good the season finale will be. And I'm just really, really happy it turned out as good as it did. And from what I'm seeing, a lot of people also enjoyed this episode.
Oh yeah, well, unless you're those butthurt anime fans.
Or those people who just hate everything.
Well, if you ask me, those people need a good old twister punch coming up. Which, speaking of which...
You had to.
I had to.
I actually came up with a funny tagline for that episode, by the way. And I already sent Bill the transition clip.
Stop.